Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. So apologies for the delay playing because I got the internet issue, and after long it was not able to fix. Finally, I connected with my phone hotspot, my laptop. So even just in case it disconnects, please have patience. I will try to reconnect. So before we read, let's invoke the blessing of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Natyanse Jnananjeshaya Chakshuritam Tasmai Shri Gurve Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhayev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Shivasati. So yesterday we started reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are at Canto number 1, and also we have started the introduction. And we have been reading the brief life and precepts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Many devotees, Lord Chaitanya, like Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur, Shri Thakur, Shri Vishnu Das Kabir Goswami, Shri Ravi Karn, Shri Prabodhana Saraswati, Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, Shri Goswami, Shri Nath Das Goswami. In this latter age, within 200 years, Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti, Shri Bhakta Bhushan, Aman, Shri Narottam Das Thakur, and renowned scholar and devotees of the Lord have prepared voluminous books and literature on the life and precepts of the Lord. Hare Krishna devotees, I think for a few minutes again it got disconnected. Are you able to hear me now? Can somebody confirm?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, we can hear.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for interruption. So, we have been reading that many devotees of Lord Shri Chaitanya Prabhu, and then the list we have just called out, which is unlimited, but we left where Shri Narottam Das Thakur, Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and at last Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our spiritual master, and many other great and renowned scholars and devotees of the Lord have prepared voluminous books and literatures on the life and precepts of the Lord. Such literatures are based on the Shastras like Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other histories and authentic literatures approved by recognized acharyas. They are unique in composition and unrivaled in presentation. They are both they are full of transcendental knowledge. Unfortunately, the people of the world are still ignorant of them. But when these literature, which are mostly in Sanskrit and Bengali, come to light the world and when they are presented before thinking people, then India's glory and the message of love will overflood this morbid world, which is vainly searching after peace and prosperity by various illusionary methods not approved by acharyas in the chain of disciplic succession. Readers of this small description of life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya will profit much to go through the books of Sri Vrindavanas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, and Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The early life of Lord is most fascinating, expressed by the author of Chaitanya Bhagavat. And as far as teachings are concerned, they are more vividly explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now they are available to the English speaking public in our teachings of Lord Chaitanya. The Lord's early life was recorded by one of his chief devotees and contemporaries, namely Srila Murari Gupta, a medical practitioner of that time, and the later part of life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was recorded by his private secretary Sri Damodar Goswami or Srila Swarup Damodar, who was practically a constant companion of the Lord at Puri. These two devotees recorded practically all the incidents of Lord's activities, and later on all the books dealing with the Lord, which are above mentioned, were composed on the basis of Kadachas notebooks and by Srila Damodar Goswami and Murari Gupta. So the Lord advented himself on the Falguni Purnima evening of 14/7 Skabda, and it was by the will of the Lord that there was a lunar eclipse on that evening. During the hour of eclipse, it was the custom of Hindu public to take bath in Ganges or other sacred river and chant Vedic mantras for purification. When Lord Chaitanya was born during the lunar eclipse, all India was roaring with holy sound of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These 16 names of the Lord are mentioned in many Puranas and Upanishads, and they are described as Taraka Brahma Nam of this age. It is recommended in the Shastras that offenseless chanting of these holy names of the Lord can deliver a fallen soul from material bondage. There are innumerable names of the Lord both in India and outside, and all of them are equally good because all of them indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because these 16s are especially recommended for this age, people should take advantage of them and follow the path of great acharyas who attained the success by practicing the rules of Shastras, revealed scriptures. The simultaneous occurrence of the Lord's appearance and lunar eclipse indicated the distinctive mission of the Lord. This mission was to preach the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord in the age of Kali quarrel. In this present age, quarrels take place even over trifles, and therefore Shastras have recommended for this age a common platform for realization, namely chanting the holy name of the Lord. People can hold meetings to glorify the Lord in their respective languages and with melodious songs. And if such performances are executed in an offenseless manner, it is certain that the participants will gradually attain spiritual perfection without having to undergo more rigorous methods. Such meetings, everyone, the learned and foolish, the rich and poor, the Hindus and Muslims, the Englishmen and Indians, the Chandalas and Brahmanas can all hear the transcendental sound and thus cleanse the dust of material association from the mirror of the heart. To confirm Lord's mission, all the people of the world will accept the holy name of the Lord as common platform for the universal religion of mankind. In other words, the advent of holy name took place along with the advent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the Lord was on the lap of his mother, he would at once stop crying as soon as ladies surrounding him chanted the holy name and clapped their hands. This peculiar incident was observed by neighbors with awe and veneration. Sometimes young girls took pleasure in making the Lord cry and then stopping him by chanting the holy name. So, from his very childhood, the Lord began to preach the importance of holy name. In his early age, Lord Sri Chaitanya was known as Nimai. This name was given by his beloved mother because the Lord took his birth beneath a nimba tree in the courtyard of his paternal house. When the Lord was offered solid food at the age of 6 months in the Annaprashana ceremony, the Lord indicated his future activities. At this time, it was customary to offer the child both coins and books in order to get some indication of the future tendencies of the child. The Lord was offered one side coins and other the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord accepted Srimad Bhagavatam instead of the coins. When it was when he was a mere baby crawling in the yard, one day a snake appeared before him, and Lord began to play with it. All the members of the house were struck with fear and awe. But after a little while the snake went away, and the baby was taken away by his mother. Once he was stolen by a thief who intended to steal his ornaments, but the Lord took a pleasure trip on the shoulder of the bewildered thief who was searching for a solitary place in order to rob the baby. It so happened that thief, wandering hither and thither, finally arrived just before the house of Jagannath Mishra, and being afraid of being caught, dropped the baby at once. Of course, the anxious parents and relatives were glad to see the lost child. Once a pilgrim Brahmana was received at the house of Jagannath Mishra. When he was offering food to the Godhead, and Lord appeared before him, partook of the prepared food. The tables had to be rejected because the child touched them. So the Brahmana had to make another preparation. The next time the same thing happened, and when this happened repeatedly for the third time, the baby was finally put to the bed. At about 12 at night, when all the members of the house were fast asleep within their closed rooms, the pilgrim Brahmana offered his specially prepared foods to the deity, and in the same way, baby Lord appeared before the pilgrim and spoiled his offerings. The Brahmana then began to cry, but since everyone was fast asleep, no one could hear him. At that time, baby Lord appeared before fortunate Brahmana and disclosed his identity as Krishna himself. The Brahmanas was forbidden to disclose this incident, and baby returned to the lap of his mother. There are many similar incidents in his childhood. As a naughty boy, he sometimes used to tease Orthodox Brahmana who used to bathe in Ganges. When Brahmanas complained to his father that he was splashing them with water instead of attending school, the Lord suddenly appeared before his father as though just coming from school with all his school clothes and books. At bathing ghat, he also used to play jokes on the neighboring girls who engaged in worshipping Shiva in hopes of getting good husbands. This is common practice amongst unmarried girls in Hindu families. While they were engaged in such worship, the Lord naughtily appeared before them and said, "My dear sisters, please give me all the offering you have just brought for Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is my devotee, and Parvati is my maidservant. If you worship me, then Lord Shiva and other demigods will be more satisfied." Some of them refused to obey the naughty Lord, and he would curse them that due to their refusal they would be married to old men who had 7 children by their previous wives. Out of fear and sometimes out of love, the girls would also offer him various goods. And then Lord would bless them and assure them that they would have very good young husbands and they would be the mothers of dozens of children. The blessings will enliven the girls, but they used often to complain of these incidents to their mothers. In this way, Lord passed their early childhood. When he was just 16-year-old, he started his own Katuspathi, the village school conducted by a learned Brahmana. In this school, he would simply explain Krishna, even readings of grammar. Srila Jiva Goswami, in order to please Lord, later composed a grammar in Sanskrit, in which all the rules of grammar were explained with example that used the holy name of the Lord. This grammar is still current. It is known as Hari Namamrita Vyakarna. Is described in syllabus of schools in Bengal. During this time, a great Kashmir scholar named Keshav Kashmiri came to Navadip to hold discussions on the Shastras. The Kashmir Pandita was a champion scholar and he had traveled to all places of learning in India. Finally, he came to Navadipa to contest the learned Panditas there. The Panditas of Navdeep decided to match Nimai Pandit, Lord Chaitanya, with Kashmir Pandita, thinking that if Nimai Pandita were defeated, they would have another chance to debate with the scholar, for Nimai Pandit was only a boy. And if Kashmir Pandita were defeated, then they would even be more glorified because people would proclaim that a mere boy of Navdeep had defeated a champion scholar who was famous throughout India. It is so happened that Nimai Pandit met Keshav Kashmiri while strolling on the banks of the Ganges. The Lord requested him to compose a Sanskrit word in the praise of Ganges, and Pandita within short time composed 100 shlokas, reciting the verses like a storm and showing the strength of his vast learning. Nimai Pandita at once memorized all shlokas without an error. He quoted 64th shloka and pointed out certain rhetorical and literary irregularities. He particularly questioned the Pandita's use of word Bhavani Bhartu. He pointed out that the use of this word was redundant. Bhavani means wife of Shiva, and who else can be her Bharta or husband? He also pointed out several other discrepancies, and Kashmiri Pandit was struck with wonder. He was astonished that a mere student of grammar could point out the literary mistake of an erudite scholar. Although this matter was ended prior to any public meeting, the news spread like wildfire all over the Navdeep. But finally, Keshav Kashmiri was ordered in a dream by Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to submit to the Lord. Thus, Kashmiri Pandit became a follower of the Lord. So we'll stop here and then we'll read tomorrow. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील व्यासदेव की जय, श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय. So now we will read another book. Now we are reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Srila Prabhupada ki jay. His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj ki jay. In 1975, Srila Prabhupada had written from Denver, assuring the Philadelphia devotees, "Yes, I am coming to your city on Friday morning, July 11th, 1975, from Chicago."
Jai Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama
Hare Krishna
Hare
devotees,
Krishna.
can you go on mute? We are reading. Thank you. I look forward to meeting the professors. Therefore, when the devotees in Chicago had tried to convince Prabhupada to stay and attend their festival scheduled at the same time as Philadelphia, he had declined. Shortly after Srila Prabhupada's arrival, it began to rain. All day Friday, and all day Saturday. When time came for Prabhupada's morning walk and rain was still pouring, he said, "So today I will take my walk by riding." Getting into his car, along with some of his sannyasis and GBC men, he set off in the rain for a ride through Fairmount Park. The rain continued on Saturday right up until the time for Rath Yatra parade. The parade was to start at Independence Mall, head down Walnut Street to Broad, circle City Hall, and end on the grassy slope behind the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Prabhupada rode into the city, where he was to meet Rath Yatra cart halfway through the procession. The rain had stopped, but dark clouds still hung ominously overhead. Majestically, the large 40-foot high cart moved down Wall Street. By the time it reached 11th Street, Srila Prabhupada had gotten out of his car 2 blocks away and was walking towards Lord Jagannath. A large group of devotees surrounded Prabhupada, and devotees on the cart could see him approaching. The two groups joined, and Kirtana swelled. Standing before the cart now, Srila Prabhupada got down on his hands and knees and touched his head to the road in obeisance to Lord Jagannath. This cart was the best yet, Prabhupada said. He especially liked the large and strong wheels, ornately decorated with small round and diamond-shaped mirrors. Mounting the cart, he took his seat beneath the deities, and for the first time in days, the clouds parted and sun shone through. Now people started pouring out of offices and stores. They lined the sidewalks and came out into the road to join the procession. As the cart circled City Hall, the sound of the devotees singing became magnified, echoing of the tall buildings. The crowd was the largest ever at any Philadelphia Rath Yatra. Hecklers, Christian fundamentalists with big banners reading "Get Smart, Get Saved" and "Repent or Burn" were ineffectuals, ineffectuals amid the large crowd and uproarious kirtana. At one point, when Srila Prabhupada appeared particularly satisfied, a devotee on the cart leaned over and asked Srila Prabhupada what he thought of the festival. Prabhupada replied that he was thinking American Vaishnavas were now permanently in the West. The park behind the art museum was crowded with people waiting. Srila Prabhupada took his seat on stage and began lecturing over public address system. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I wish to thank you and the inhabitants of this great city, Philadelphia. You are so kind and enthusiastic in taking part in this movement. So I am very much obliged to you. I am especially obliged to American boys and girls who are helping me so much in spreading this Krishna conscious movement in the Western countries. Prabhupada explained how all living entities are eternal, but having taken material bodies, are subject to the tribulations of the birth, death, old age, and disease. In the human form, the soul can choose to go back to spiritual world or suffer birth after birth in this material world. But why should we remain in this material world, body and undergo repetition, change of body? Prabhupada asked. Let's have our original spiritual body that is wanted, that is intelligent. Prabhupada explained the science of chanting Hare Krishna and invited everyone to try it. We don't change anything for this Hare Krishna mantra, he said. We are chanting everywhere, as you saw in the Rath Yatra. Our only means is chanting Hare Krishna. And these thousands of men are following simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So you can understand what is the potency of this Hare Krishna mantra. We did not pay you, ladies and gentlemen, anything to follow us, but we simply chant Hare Krishna. So it is very important. You will never feel tired chanting Hare Krishna. You see practically. You can go on chanting 24 hours. You will never feel tired. Therefore, it is said, Golokera Prema Dhana. This chanting vibration is coming from the spiritual world. Srila Prabhupada talked about the inner meaning of Rath Yatra. Radharani is meeting Krishna at Kurukshetra and trying to bring him back to Vrindavan. It is very ecstatic feeling. He said, those who are advanced devotees, they can enjoy. Concluding his address, he invited everyone to look at Krishna conscious literature and try to understand. The devotees had prepared 1200 pounds of halwa and large quantities of vegetables, sweets, and fruit punch, which this very efficiently served at to the crowd. Prabhupada was satisfied with everything and returned to his house, while the devotees continued until sunset, feasting, chanting, hosting thousands of festival goers. The day after Rath Yatra, the Srila Prabhupada met with a room full of people, including two reporters and several parents of his disciples. The reporters were Miss Sandy Nixon, a freelance writer, and from Philadelphia Inquirer, Miss Jones, and the same woman who had spoken with Srila Prabhupada at the airport. Seeing japa beads around Miss Nixon's neck, Prabhupada said, she is a devotee, she was chanting. Miss Nixon said she was writing a book on the popular gurus and had about 15 questions to ask Srila Prabhupada. I'm going to ask you questions, she said, and most of the time I might be able to answer them myself. Srila Prabhupada seemed to like her, if only if only because she wrote the if only because she wore the japa beads. But some of the devotees flinched at her remark about already knowing the answers to the question she was about to ask. How did Krishna consciousness develop? Miss Nixon asked. Krishna consciousness is already there in everyone's core heart, replied Srila Prabhupada. You have seen how during the whole procession they were chanting and dancing in ecstasy. So, do you think that is artificial? No. Artificially, nobody can chant and dance for hours together. That means awakening of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada patiently and carefully answered each question about Christ, about gurus, about daily lives of the devotees. While discussing the evils of a godless society, he mentioned the slaughter of cows. It is an innocent animal, he said. It is simply eating grass given by God and supplying milk. And from milk we can live. And the gratefulness is cut her throat. Is that civilization? What do you say? I agree 100%, Miss Nixon replied. I want you to say these things instead of me. I'm asking the questions for others, of course, who do not understand Krishna consciousness. Again, the devotees flinched. That Prabhupada did not always respond to a person's attitude or nuance did not mean that he was imperceptive. He sometimes chose not to relate to a certain idiom or react to a certain foolishness. Like Miss Nixon's claims to be an expert on Krishna consciousness. And often he simply ignored a person's trivial conversation or mundane philosophy. But he was always in touch with whomever he talked to, addressing that person's true self interest. He knew Miss Nixon did not know the answers to the questions she asked, and he understood that she was, despite her temporarily donned japa beads, not inquiring as a submissive disciple. Nevertheless, he was compassionate, answering to enlighten both her and her readers. Miss Nixon plunged onward. How do you feel about women's lib? Prabhupada remained silent, and a devotee repeated, she wants to know about women's liberation. What is your feeling about women's liberation? That I don't want to discuss, said Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada's serious expression slowly changed to a smile. Then he laughed. Everyone laughed. His Chicago remarks were famous. On one hand, he did not want to start another controversy, but he did want to clear up the issue. He continued, as you have asked, so I may explain how the foolish women are being cheated by the intelligent man. In your country, they have given you liberty. Liberty means equal rights, is it not? Men and women have equal rights. Miss Nixon, they are trying in this country. Prabhupada, all right, trying. But you women, you cannot see that this is so-called equal rights means cheating the woman. Now I say more clearly that a woman and man meet. Now they become lovers. Then they have sex. Then woman becomes pregnant and man goes away. The simple woman, she has to take charge of the child and beg for the government alms. Please give me money. This is your independence. So you admit this is independence, or she tries to kill the child. Do you think it is very good independence? What is your answer? Srila Prabhupada looked challengingly at both women. They had asked their question, now he was asking, Miss Jones, what is my answer to whether or not I was going to kill a child? Is that the question? Prabhupada, yes, they are killing now abortion. Miss Jones, well, she made the choice. Prabhupada, you have made your choice to kill your child. Is that a very good choice? Miss Nixon, it is the worst crime you could make. Srila Prabhupada to Miss Jones, do you think it is very good business? Miss Jones, I think it is very complicated question. Prabhupada, therefore I say that they are cheating you in the name of independence. That you don't understand. They are cheating you and you are thinking you are independent. Miss Nixon, they forget the responsibility that comes with the freedom. Prabhupada, yes, the man, do not take the responsibility, they go away. They enjoy and go away. And the woman has to take the responsibility. Either kill the child or maintain begging. Do you think begging is very good? In India, although they are poverty stricken, still they do not become independent. They remain under the care of the husband. In India, although they are poverty stricken, still they do not become independent. They remain under the care of husband, and he takes all responsibility. She has neither to kill the child or not to beg for maintaining the child. So, which is independence? To maintain under a husband is independence, or to become free to be enjoyed by everyone? There is no freedom, but still they think they have freedom. That means under some plea, the men are cheating the woman. That's all. So, in the name of independence, they have agreed to be cheated by another class. That is the situation. So, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj ki jai. So, thank you, dear devotees, for listening to me. Anybody has any question, correction, chastisement before we continue chanting? All right. So, if there's no question, thank you, dear devotees, for listening. Today I faced the internet issue. I don't know what was the problem. So, apologies for the delay in playing the song and reading. So, I just connected through my phone. But I was thinking that not a blade of grass moves without Lord's permission. So, just by holding a book in hand, we cannot say we can read Shrimad Bhagavatam. Unless Lord gives the permission, we cannot even utter a word. So, thank you, dear devotees, and please forgive me if I not reading these books properly. So now we'll continue chanting. Hare Krishna.